Hey guys, what's going on? So today we're going to talk about a website that I think is a must for those of you out there that are itching to get into Season of Discovery and kind of want something to look at right now to theory craft and build out your character that you're going to play. So this is a website called 60upgrades. I'll have it linked below. This is a website that's been out for a long time. I use it all the time myself. However, they have just recently updated it. So if you have if you have 60upgrades.com/SOD, it actually goes to the Season of Discovery, and it's actually right up here in this top corner. It's a little tab, kind of hard to see. But anyways, as you can see, I've made some different characters just to test some stuff out. So I will show you how you can go in here and you can quickly make a character. You can customize it if you'd like to. You set the character's level, so maybe you have it at level 10 to see some questing items that you want as you level up. But right now we're just going to look at it at level 25. So the realm obviously doesn't really matter, but anyways, go in here, you choose whatever specialization you want, you change over to the specialization. This is going to just show you like an icon on your character. This doesn't matter too much. Then you choose your phase, which we're going to look at phase 1 right now, and then you put the points in. Basically, you can do a preset or you can do a custom. So custom, you can kind of set your own values. So you could call it stam set, and then you go in here and you make stamina be valued at 10, etc., etc. You can go down the list. Normally I just do the presets to get a general idea. If there's certain pieces you're looking at, sometimes it's easier to do kind of a custom set. But anyways, then you go in here, click accept, click create, and then what it's going to do is it's going to allow you to like autofill and populate this with just kind of what is the best items they will give you. However, you can also go in here and click on the items and then choose from a list, kind of see where these pieces come from. Now, for example, you can also click random suffixes, and this is going to allow you to see the items that are a random drop, and they can be like of the boar, of agility. If you don't have that selected, you won't see those items. So one thing to note also is you can click this little button here and it'll actually take you to the Wowhead page of this item. So it allows you to kind of get an idea of where those pieces can be found, crafted, or dropped by. That's a good thing to do. But yeah, that's kind of the lowdown on the 60 upgrades interface and how to use it. All right, now we understand what 60 upgrades is and kind of how to use it. Now we can look at some of the really strong items in the game. So a few things to note. Obviously, this is a big one. You can get this at level 1 if you'd like to. However, most people probably will not get it at level 1, but this is going to be a very big item. Obviously, if you can get this early on, that'll be nice before people start farming it. There's also a lot of very good engineering items. Some of these you will not be able to get just because no one will be able to craft them unless they are gnomish or goblin engineer. But some of these will be awesome. Obviously, PvP insignia will be great. And then I believe they have said that they're going to be making some changes to the rewards that we get from Warsong Gulch stuff. So we'll see how this pans out, but there are some pretty good stuff there. Now, in terms of the other big thing that we have to think about, it is our head item, because for example, the gnomes will be able to be high enough level to get a few engineering things that other players cannot. Okay, so I'll let you guys go out and discover those things. There are a lot of really good quest items as well that I want to point out, and I will point those out for a few different classes. One of these is the Windstorm Hammer, and this will be utilized by anyone that uses a one-handed mace. So shamans, warriors, and rogues are going to love this, and sadly this is only on the horde side. This weapon has an insane amount of damage, okay? 22 DPS. The next highest weapon that you get around that level is going to be 18 to 17 DPS. This weapon has almost the same amount of DPS as a comparable two-handed weapon. As you can see, Slag Hammer, 23. Now, we also saw a two-handed sword previewed in the BlizzCon kind of raiding environment at BlizzCon, and we saw that sword had a DPS. It was a two-handed sword and had a DPS of 25 DPS. So I'm telling you guys, this one-handed mace is a game changer if you're on Horde side. It is also a quest drop, so it is a guarantee. You just need to be able to finish the quest. And the quest is a little tricky, especially at level 25, so you will probably want to find some friends who either want to help you or also want to get this weapon. The other item that you can get from this same quest is actually a very strong wand with a 23 DPS. So, very strong wand as well. Now, moving on, we have the Basalt Buckler. As you can see, this shield has 963 armor, and the next best shield at this level, armor-wise, is 711. Okay, 711 armor versus 963. So this is huge for anyone that wants to be a beefy boy or tank. This is going to be really, really big for, again, Horde side only. Now, the great thing about this weapon, or this shield also for shamans, is that shamans have the shield mastery, which allows them to get mana back on block, and also they stack armor based on the shield's armor. So this shield alone is going to be insane at level 25 for shamans. Now, outside of this weapon and this shield, there's not really too many other things that I would say are quest specifics for shamans on Horde side. Kind of everyone will be able to accomplish this quest, and it has some good rewards. One thing I will say as a tentative caveat is these might not be in the game. And I mean that because we don't know what kind of changes are coming to Nomergon. We don't know if you can enter Nomergon at level 25, and we don't know if this quest will still be around. But there's some other good options if you can't get those. Now, beyond that, obviously, these Warsong boots are really good. This is a Horde quest as well. There is a belt for casters, like a cloth belt, and then I believe, well, let's take a peek. There's also some gloves for warriors. So, all things to think about. And now let's move over to the next class. Alright, moving on to Druids. There's a few really, really interesting pieces that Druids are able to get on Alliance side. One is Totem of Affliction. Now, we all know that Bear Druids get a armor addition with armor, so this off piece having 50 armor is really, really nice as a piece that you can put on when you go into bear form. It also has an interesting equip, which is when you're struck in combat, has a 1% chance of inflicting 75 to 120 shadow damage. Now, obviously, we're not counting on a 1% chance, but when it does proc, it is really nice. So maybe if you get a rogue on you or something like that and it does proc, it'll be a game changer in a fight. Also, you have Tunic of Westfall. This one's a little bit more situational. Obviously, it has a lot of agility on it, which helps with having more armor, getting more crit, having more dodge, if you're tanking or playing a bear. But also, you have the Black and Defias armor, which might honestly be a better choice just because of the extra stamina. Besides that, there's not a whole lot of other things for a Druid on the Alliance that they can get that Horde couldn't. They do have Seal of Rin, which is obviously a great kind of all-around ring, but there could be some other rings that you prioritize over this one. But early on, when you first are level 25, this could be a great one to pick up just because it's a guaranteed with a quest. Alright, moving over to Paladins and Warriors. So you have an amazing Paladin weapon that you can get through a quest. That's obviously going to be almost everyone's main choice as a Paladin. However, as a Warrior or as a Paladin who hasn't been able to complete the quests yet, you do have some really good two-handed options from quests. So you have this piece right here, you have this, and you have Glacial Stone. So Glacial Stone is kind of known about by level 19 twinks, but even at level 25, this will be a great weapon. This is a Ashenvale quest. However, this means that you do need to get further along in this quest chain, which is the Furbolg quest chain. So some people opt not to finish it because of the Furbolg transformation kind of quest portion of it. Now, obviously these up here are going to be even higher DPS, but some of these quests can be rather tricky to do on your own, so you'll definitely need a group for these. But these are some pretty solid options that you can get as a warrior or paladin at that level. As a warrior or a paladin, you also have two really good head options. You have this, which is 9 strength, 8 spirit. This is really, really strong, especially because your other options at this level are kind of gnomish goggles, and those have really low armor. So as a pally or a shaman, or excuse me, as a pally or a warrior, this obviously is helpful because it's a lot higher armor. So this would be more of like your offensive helm choice. Now the other one you can get is this. It's leather, but it's also 8 stam, 7 spirit. So this is a decent option as well. Otherwise, you're just gonna have to go with something like green tinted goggles, or try and fish up the lucky fishing helmet. These, again, like I said, are not going to be available to engineers just because of the requirements of being goblin engineer. So that's kind of those pieces there. Okay, the mage item I was trying to find is actually Inferno Robe. Now, this is one of those things that we have to point out. It is not showing up in 60 upgrades. So that's my point, where not everything is always perfect on this website, and some things are overlooked based on Wowhead data. For example, this shows that it requires level 35, but you can do this at level 19, I believe, because I know that level 19 Twinks used to have this robe. So 23 fire spell damage is very, very big at this level. As you can see, if we go into your chest options and we choose random suffixes here, you don't have any other fiery option for a chest that is going to be anywhere close to that amount of damage. So while you're lacking on stamina or any other stats like intellect, that is going to be a really, really big piece for anyone that wants to play fire. So that's one thing to note. Obviously, you'll have things like spell power goggles, and then if you get really, really lucky with either finding these or being able to afford them, stuff like that is going to make you pretty bursty when it comes to any kind of caster class. But definitely for mages, that robe is huge on horde side. I will say, personally, looking through all the different quest items, I truly believe that horde do have a pretty decent advantage with the pre-bis gear that you can get. Now, we have to understand that we have not seen all the stuff that you will be able to get in BFD. So BFD might be one of those things where once you get into BFD, all of this gear becomes extremely trivialized, and the stuff that you see in BFD is so much better. But I will say that the stuff we have seen so far on the sneak peeks, it's not anything that amazing. For example, this robe right here is excuse me, let me go to the right page. It is almost exactly the same as this piece right here. Okay, very similar stats. The only thing that you really, really get over this piece is obviously this huge amount of armor bonus. So the armor bonus on this is very, very nice. And then as you can see, Phantom Blade, 24 DPS. Again, still a very good weapon, especially with a chance to hit. For any kind of PvE stuff, this chance of hit at that level is crazy. However, the mace that we showed earlier, still very, very, very strong. 22 DPS for a one-handed weapon is extremely strong. So those are some of the really good quest items out there. Definitely let me know in the comments if you guys know of any really cool or really unique quest items or anything that's just out there that I missed. Alright guys, hopefully that helps you kind of build out your dream character for the level 25 bracket. As I said, none of the raid stuff is in the game, so that's going to be kind of a little bit more shot in the dark, but all this stuff should help you kind of get a sense of what kind of gear you want to get before you step into the raid. So hopefully that helps, and as always guys, I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.